Do you know what it feels like to sleep with one eye open, just in case someone decides you're not worth keeping? Lily didn't whisper that question to anyone in particular. It was the kind of thought that had lived inside her for so long, it spilled out like breath. Because when you're 5 years old and have already learned to pack fast and run faster, trust is no longer a word, it's a luxury. And yet somehow that man with the tired eyes and the gentle voice had made her want to believe again. She didn't know why she let him find her. She didn't know why Chloe's hand felt like home. But she knew one thing for sure this time. If it all went wrong, it would break something inside her that might never heal. So she stood at the doorway of his house holding a bag of worn clothes and a heart stitched together with fear and hope. Stay with this story because what happens next will shatter your expectations. And when it does, you'll realize this wasn't just about a girl being rescued, but a man being saved too. The morning started like any other for Jack Whitman, a powerful Manhattan lawyer turned real estate tycoon. His schedule was airtight, his chauffeur already waiting by the curb, and his phone buzzing with emails. But that day, something was about to derail the perfectly calibrated life he'd built since losing his wife Claire. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, Lily Parker stirred from beneath a faded blanket tucked under an old construction canopy. The chill of Portland's autumn air cut through her bones, but she barely noticed. She had things to do, books to find, letters to trace, dreams to chase. At just 5 years old, Lily moved like a shadow between alleyways, clutching her tattered backpack and guarding the few treasures she had: broken pencils, half-used notebooks, and a child-sized hunger for learning. Her destination, like every morning, was St. Grace Elementary. From her hidden perch behind the thick trunk of a maple tree, Lily watched as parents in polished cars dropped off their children. She had memorized every movement, the cheerful kisses, the colorful backpacks, the laughing footsteps. Her gaze lingered on one girl in particular, Chloe Whitman. Chloe had blonde braids, a neat navy skirt, and a smile that made Lily's chest ache in ways she didn't understand. Then the bell rang. Lily's fingers curled around the rusted iron fence. Just once she wanted to know what the inside smelled like, what chalk on a blackboard sounded like, what it felt like to belong. That's when she noticed it: a gap, a broken piece of fencing behind a row of overgrown rose bushes. No security guard in sight. Her heart thumped in her ears. She could turn back. She should turn back. But the chance was there. She crawled through. The grass inside was softer than she'd imagined. The air smelled of fresh markers and lunchboxes. But before she could soak in the moment, a quiet sob snapped her attention. There, sitting on a wooden bench, was Chloe Whitman. The math worksheet in her lap looked like a foreign language to her. Her brows furrowed, her fingers twisted in frustration. Lily knew that expression. She knew that pain. And against every instinct screaming at her to run, she stepped forward. "Need help," she whispered. Chloe turned, startled. "Who are you? You're not in my class." "I'm Lily. I was just looking." Chloe looked her up and down, taking in the dirty hem of her dress and her bare feet. For a second, Lily was sure she'd run. But then Chloe did something unexpected. She smiled. "You know math, I think so. Want me to show you?" Minutes later, the two were sitting side by side. Lily lifted 3 fingers, then 5. "That's 8, she said. Chloe beamed. "It's like magic." And for a moment, the fence between their worlds didn't exist. Until it did. "Hey," a sharp voice cut through the garden. A woman in a staff uniform, Miss Peterson, strode toward them, her heels biting into the earth. "Who is this Chloe? Do you know her?" "She's my friend Chloe," said quickly, standing protectively in front of Lily. "She helped me with math." Miss Peterson's eyes narrowed at Lily's threadbare clothes and tangled hair. "This area is for students only. You'll need to come with me." Lily stood abruptly, her feet stung on the gravel as she prepared to bolt. But then another voice, calm, deeper, and dangerously firm. "What's going on here, Jack Whitman?" He had just stepped onto campus to deliver paperwork when he stumbled upon the scene. Chloe ran to him. "Daddy, this is Lily. She's amazing at math and helped me with my worksheet." Jack's eyes locked onto Lily, not with judgment, but with a curiosity so rare she almost couldn't look back. He knelt to her eye level. "You helped Chloe?" he asked gently. Lily nodded. She didn't understand the problem. "I just showed her how to count," Miss Peterson interjected. "Mr. Whitman, we really must report. I'll handle it." Jack interrupted smoothly. "Thank you, Miss Peterson." He turned back to Lily. "Are you hungry?" She blinked. "I don't know." "How about you come with us for lunch?" he asked. "As a thank you." Lily hesitated. This man was powerful, rich, and people like him didn't make offers like that without expecting something in return. "I don't have money," she whispered. Jack smiled. "I didn't ask you to pay." Still unsure, Lily followed Chloe and Jack to a diner just 2 blocks away. Her eyes darted around the colorful booths, the chrome counters, the jukebox humming softly. She looked like a ghost entering a dream. A waitress brought her a menu. "Order anything you want, sweetheart." Lily stared at the glossy pictures like they were art. "Is it really okay?" Jack nodded. I'll have whatever Chloe's having." Minutes later, a hamburger the size of her head and a chocolate milkshake appeared in front of her. But Lily didn't eat. She just stared. Jack noticed. "Something wrong. I'm not used to this. People don't feed me." Jack leaned forward. "Well, they should." As Lily finally took a bite, a sharp voice called from a nearby booth. "Jack Whitman. Isn't this sweet? Bringing your charity case out for burgers." Jack turned slowly. A man in a tailored blazer smirked from behind a glass of wine. "Thought you only dined with clients." Jack's voice didn't rise, but every syllable cut like a knife. "She's not a case. She's a child. And you just insulted both of us." The man scoffed, looked away. Lily's eyes widened. No one had ever defended her like that, not even her mother in the end. Jack hadn't just protected her, he had claimed her in the smallest but loudest way possible. After lunch, Chloe begged to play more, but Lily stood. "I should go." Jack knelt again. "Where do you live, Lily?" She didn't answer. "Would it be okay if I walked you wherever you're going?" Lily shook her head. "No one's supposed to follow me." Jack paused, then reached into his wallet, pulled out a business card, and wrote a number on the back. "If you ever need help," he said, "really need it, call me." Lily took the card with trembling hands and slipped it inside her backpack. She turned her feet still bare on the sidewalk and walked into the crowd until she disappeared. Jack stood frozen at the curb, Chloe clutching his hand. Something had shifted, and he couldn't explain it, but he knew. That girl had just changed everything. "We're so sorry to pause here, but what would you have done if you were Jack? Would you have invited Lily for lunch or walked away? If this moment touched your heart, please like this video and send us a heart in the comments." The moment Lily vanished into the crowd, Jack Whitman felt something he hadn't felt in years, a sense of helplessness that no amount of money or power could ease. That little girl in a matter of hours had cracked something open in him. He couldn't explain it to himself, not even later that night, as he sat alone in his kitchen, turning her name over in his head, like a puzzle piece that didn't belong, and yet somehow fit perfectly. But Lily wasn't thinking about Jack anymore. She was back beneath the bridge, curled into the corner of her cardboard shelter, replaying the day in her mind. The food, the clean booth, the look on Chloe's face when she solved that math problem, it all felt like a dream she'd somehow wandered into, and just as quickly back out of. In her lap was the card Jack had given her. She held it to her chest, stared at the numbers. Then with a sigh, she tucked it deep into the lining of her bag. Nothing that good ever lasted. The next morning, Jack did something he hadn't done in years. He skipped his morning meeting. Chloe was surprised when he made her breakfast himself. "Daddy, are you okay?" He poured orange juice and tried to sound casual. "Do you think Lily will be near school again today?" Chloe's face lit up. "I hope so. She's so smart, Daddy. Smarter than my teacher, I think." Jack smiled, but his heart was already racing. After school drop-off, he didn't drive to his office. Instead, he walked, street by street, park benches, empty lots, bus stops. He even checked near the dumpsters behind the library. Nothing. By noon, frustration was clawing at his chest. And then he saw her. She was asleep in a narrow alley behind an old bakery, curled up beneath broken cardboard boxes like they were blankets. Her small frame barely moved. Jack stepped closer, careful not to startle her. Lily. She stirred. Her eyes opened wide, scanning for escape. But when she saw Jack, she froze. "You found me," she whispered like it was a challenge. "I was worried about you," he said. "Chloe too." She sat up quickly, brushing her hair back, avoiding his eyes. "I'm fine. You didn't need to come." Jack crouched. "I did, because I care, and because Chloe asked me to." That part made her pause. She did. She saved her blue dress for you. Said it's her favorite, but she thinks it would look even better on you." Lily didn't speak. Her hands tugged nervously at the frayed edges of her sleeve. Jack took a breath. "Lily, we have a spare room at home. It's not much, but it's warm. There's food, and Chloe would love it if you came back. Just for a little while. No strings." The look in Lily's eyes changed. Not relief, not joy, fear. People always say that, she said. Then they change their minds. Jack's voice softened. "I won't promise forever, but I will promise this: you won't be alone." There was a long silence. Then Lily asked almost inaudibly, "Can I bring my books? They'll be the first things in the car." She stood, hesitated, then gathered her bag. Back at the house, Chloe spotted them from the kitchen window and burst through the front door. "You came back!" she screamed, running to hug Lily. "Just for a while," Lily said, unsure. "You're staying for dinner," Chloe beamed. "And forever if you want." That night, after Lily had eaten a bowl of soup like it was gold, Jack noticed her lingering at the doorway to the guest room. "Go ahead," he said gently. "It's yours." She stepped in slowly, touched the blanket, ran her fingers along the edge of the dresser. She said nothing, but her eyes were full. Later, Jack passed by the room again. The door was slightly ajar. Inside, Lily sat on the floor, hugging her knees. She had changed into Chloe's blue dress, though it hung loose on her tiny frame. She looked scared. Jack knocked softly. "Hey!" Lily jumped quickly, wiping her face. "Sorry," she whispered. It's been a long time since I wasn't cold." Jack walked in and sat on the edge of the bed. "You don't have to explain anything, but you're safe here, okay?" She nodded, but then something shifted in her expression. She reached into her backpack, pulled out a small notebook, and handed it to him. Jack opened it to find a single sentence written in a child's neat scrawl. "If I disappear, don't be sad. I'm just trying not to be a burden." His hands trembled slightly. The weight of those words written by a 5-year-old hit him harder than any courtroom verdict ever had. "You are not a burden, Lily," he said. "You're a gift, and if you ever disappear again, my whole world will fall apart." Lily's lower lip quivered. "Promise, I swear it." That night, Lily climbed into bed hesitantly. Jack pulled the blanket up to her chin and left the door open just a crack. Later, when he passed her room, he saw her asleep, clutching a small stuffed animal Chloe had given her. And for the first time, her forehead wasn't furrowed in worry. Her breathing was slow, calm, peaceful. Jack stood in the doorway, longer than he meant to, then whispered to the dark Claire, "I think we've got another daughter. We're so sorry to pause here, but do you believe in fate? Or do you think this meeting was just coincidence? If this story moved your heart, please like the video and leave a heart in the comments to let us know you're watching." Sometimes healing begins in the smallest, quietest of moments, and sometimes in the most unexpected of places. For Lily Parker, healing began not with a grand gesture, but with a simple act of being seen, being chosen, and finally, being wanted. Weeks passed. Lily's presence in the Whitman home began as something delicate, like a song heard through a closed door. She treaded lightly, never asked for anything, and always seemed ready to disappear again at the first sign of rejection. But Chloe's laughter, louder and brighter with Lily beside her, slowly dissolved that fear. At St. Grace Elementary, Lily quickly caught the teacher's attention. She wasn't just intelligent, she was luminous. Her essays carried a wisdom far beyond her age, and her kindness was magnetic. But no one knew the full story. Only Jack did. He spent many late nights staring at the adoption paperwork, the final signature line glaring back at him like a dare. He'd grown used to calculated decisions, investments where outcomes could be measured. But this was the kind of leap you take only once in a lifetime, and never without fear. Jack found himself sitting across from Michael Grant, his longtime friend and legal counsel. "You've reviewed the documents?" Michael asked. "I have." "Then what's stopping you?" Jack hesitated. "What if I fail her, Mike?" "She's already been failed so many times." Michael smiled gently. Jack, you've built empires with nothing but instinct. Trust it now. She's already calling you Dad in her drawings. That night, Jack stood outside Lily's room. Through the slightly open door, he saw her asleep, cradling a hand-drawn picture. In it, there were three figures, him, Chloe, and Lily, holding hands in front of a house labeled home. The word Dad was written in a heart above his head. The next morning, Jack sat Lily down at the kitchen table. His voice was calm, but his heart pounded. "I need to ask you something," he said, "but only if it's what you want." Lily blinked. "Okay. I want to adopt you, Lily. Legally, permanently. I want you to be my daughter, not just in this house, but in every way that matters. Would you let me?" There was silence. Then Lily whispered, "Even if I'm not perfect," Jack leaned forward, "especially because you're not perfect, because neither am I. But we're perfect for each other." Her eyes filled. "Can I still be Lily Parker?" "You'll always be Lily Parker," Jack said. "But if you want, you could also be Lily Whitman." She smiled. It wasn't big, but it was real. "I'd like that." 2 weeks later, everything changed again. A knock at the front door startled Jack while he was making tea. When he opened it, a woman stood there, tears already in her eyes. "My name is Margaret Bennett," she said. "I believe Lily is my granddaughter." Time stopped. Jack invited her in. Margaret explained how she'd been searching for her daughter Rachel for years, only to learn she had passed away and left behind a child. The agency had buried the records, but someone had finally traced a clue to a little girl living with a man named Jack Whitman. Lily sat silent, her hands clenched on her lap. Margaret didn't push. She simply placed an old music box on the table, the one she'd once given Rachel as a child. "I'm not here to take you," she said softly. "I'm old. I live in Carmel by the sea. I couldn't raise you even if I wanted to. I just want to know if you're happy." Lily opened the box. A soft lullaby played. Her eyes welled up. "I remember this," she said. "It was my mom's favorite." The court process that followed was brief but emotional. With Margaret's blessing, Jack's adoption of Lily was finalized. The day they walked out of the courtroom, Lily ran ahead, spun in a slow circle on the courthouse steps, arms wide like she was catching the sky. "I have a dad," she shouted. "I have a family." People turned, smiled, some even clapped. Back at home, Chloe gave Lily a gift she had been hiding for the perfect moment. It was a necklace with a small heart-shaped locket. Inside were two pictures, one of Lily and Chloe, and one of Lily with Jack. "I figured," Chloe grinned, "if we're sisters now, we should both wear something that proves it." Lily didn't answer. She just hugged Chloe tight, as if letting go might ruin everything. Later that night, Jack found a new note on his nightstand. It wasn't written in fear like the last one. This one was short, simple, full of hope. "I'm not disappearing this time. I think I'm finally home." Jack closed his eyes. He didn't need anything more. Sometimes family isn't who you're born to, it's who finds you when the world forgets. And sometimes healing doesn't come with fanfare. It comes with warm soup, bedtime stories, and a father brave enough to choose love over fear. What do you think matters more, blood or the people who show up when it counts? And if you were Lily, would you have dared to say yes? What did you feel while watching this story unfold? If it touched your heart, please comment no.3 below. Comment number 1 if it still needs something more. Or number 2 if you're somewhere in between. We'd love to know what country you're watching from. And if this story meant something to you, please drop a heart and share it with someone who needs a little reminder that love always finds a way.